So then we are back with more understandings from the time of the Second Tabernacle services, where we find in the Aramaic English translation of the word. This translation comes from the original manuscripts of the prophets of the Itzaelic lineage and not from the Greco-Roman. So then we can understand the time of the end, Mashiyach the prophet. We find then the time of the restoration of the cities of the Mashiyach laid waste for many centuries, and also the time of reduction from the first recording of the spring feast. Then the Mashiyach, obviously during his time of ministry, 490 days precisely, he spent time with his people, and unfortunately he was betrayed. So then, sometimes when the Creator does his work, he uses people, those who are truly genuine, and those who are then confronting the world system, indicating then the Babylonian system versus then the kingdom yet coming. And along the way, sometimes the Mashiyach was very explicit, explaining as far as family members and people of very close relationship would betray. So since the scriptures then are becoming more popular from the original manuscripts, it's kind of interesting how many situations a person goes through when the truth then is given. Those people where you used to have so much of a trust, then because of the truth of the Mashiyach, then they turned back on you. And those people where you used to have so much trust, then at some point, then they become your very enemies. It's kind of amazing. My own wife, many years ago, while then in search for the truth, in search for tabernacling, in search for what the Mashiyach had said and the truth of the holy instructions, then later became the worst enemy. It's amazing, the very person where you have the most trust then turns around and destroys you. Then you can understand what the Mashiyach has said. The very people of their own family would turn against, on favor of destruction of the world. So then we find these days so many areas of the Babylonian system being exposed, and even our own country murdering its own president, of instance of JFK, and so many other areas, for instance Ozarks, and the financial system of our country ruining every day, whereas the truth always becoming more and more vivid and more evident. Yet people, they always want to betray and destroy, and never able to teach and understand, never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Though they hear, that's what then the instructions, they say, not only hearers of the word, but then doers of the word. But when the doers of the word come, then they realize they were betrayers. And since they don't understand the truth, then they kind of make themselves as listening but not doing what is stating. It's amazing. Betrayal can be very hurtful. A lot of people, such as myself, lost nearly every area of my life on favor of the truth of the Mashiyach and what he taught. Yet sometimes the rewards are not very evident. But the Mashiyach said at some point, those who would be on his favor would then receive what he has in store for those who are from the truth. Whereas then the world in its own way will find their own reward. So then what the Mashiyach said is true. His own people had betrayed him, and the world then would be along with it, and neither of them would be saved, because the Mashiyach said, you traverse then sea and land to make a convert, and you make them twice as worst as previously. So not only the set apart then are not saved, but then the rest of the world, because of their disobedience, goes along with them. So then what the Mashiyach said was true. Though evil is perceptible in the flesh, though when the words of the Mashiyach are spoken, then people realize how betrayers they are. Please stay tuned, much more coming up.